Flags are there. All right. Well, everybody's ready. At this point, I will call to order the May 19, 2025 meeting of the Clackamas Fire District Board of Directors at 5 p.m. At Clackamas Fire District, we're always here for you. We value our people and the people we serve. Our focus is establishing teams, trust, empowerment, accountability, mindset, and service. If you are attending in person, please sign in on the sheet next to the door. Regular second is called to order. This regular monthly meeting of Clackamas Fire District's Board of Directors will now come to order. We already did that part. Per ORS 192.6102, 192.690. Per ORS 192.650, this meeting is being recorded. The video recording of this meeting will be placed on the Clackamas Fire District website. And if everyone please stand and face the flag and the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with justice for all.
Chief Brown, are there any changes to the agenda?
Thank you. We do have two small changes. We're gonna add capital project updates to OB1. And then underneath informational only items, R1B, Chief Stewart is unable to attend tonight, so I will give his report out. And R1D, CFO Whitaker is not here. Finance Manager Michael Wong is here in his place, which we are grateful to have him here tonight.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Next, we have the approval of minutes for the regular board meeting on April 21st, 2025. Does any board member have any comments or changes to share? If there are no changes, the minutes of the regular board meeting on April 21st, 2025 stand approved as written. Next up, we have approval of joint board work session minutes on April 16th, 2025. Does any board member have any comments or changes to share for those?
No.
If there are no changes to the minutes for the joint board work session on April 16th, 2025 stand approved as written. Now we have a presentation, Civil Service Commissioner Jim Dille, years of service, Chief Nick Brown.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Commissioner Dille, would you please come up and stand right here? We'd greatly appreciate it. I know it. It's an honor that I get to sit and talk a little bit about Commissioner Dille. When I think of public servant and I think of a servant hearts, I think of Commissioner Dille. Not only did he serve this great country, but he served the citizens of Clackamas Fire, the citizens of Clackamas County for 51 years. Jim started his service in 1974 and was a board of director for Clackamas Fire District 71. Then in 1986, he became a commissioner for Clackamas Fire District and has approved every single civil service packet. Every single employee that has come into Clackamas Fire, civil service employee has come to Clackamas Fire to date, has been approved by Commissioner Dille. We just can't thank you enough, Jim, for your dedication to the fire district, for your dedication to the citizens of Clackamas Fire, for your belief in this cause, and for how you've modeled public safety and public service. And with that, I'd love to, I've got a letter with some two challenge coins in here and a plaque that we'd like to present to Commissioner Jim Dille for 51 years of service, and grateful for his service and congratulations on his retirement from service. And before I hand him this plaque, big, huge thanks, because none of this would have been would have been possible if Sherry at home wouldn't have allowed it. And so we know that it's not just Jim and his service. We know the time and dedication that it took at home, allowing him to go to the countless meetings that he did for this cause. So thank you so much. It's been a family effort, and just want to recognize Commissioner Dille with this plaque for 51 years of service. And then I wrote a letter here, and just like you to read it. There's two challenge coins in there. I would like to say thank you And if you have anything to say, I'll turn it over to you, but I know you have a baseball game in Canby with the Twins. And, but I'll turn it over to you if you have anything you'd like to say.
Yeah, I don't want to take a lot of time, but trust me, 51 years ago tomorrow, actually,
Yeah.
was the election. I wouldn't have dreamed that I'd be here 51 years later. I followed my father on to the District 71 board. He was at least one 4-year term. I found that who was in the original term, which was 2 terms back.
Yeah.
But nobody knows who was on that one in between. So at the very least, it's 55 years of continuity
Yeah.
in the Dille family. But I learned my commitment to the community from them in the first place. So it made sense. They're part of the Clackamas Community Club, which was the driving force behind creating Fire District 71. So it goes way, way, way back. So I'm proud to have followed him. I'm proud to have served that long. And I'll be proud to retire. But that's, now we do have grandkids.
Yeah.
Multiple grandkids
I
playing
love
sports all over the place. So that's our life now.
I love that.
So thank you for this.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for what you're all doing.
Thank you, Jim. Oh, miss our coffee.
Thank you. I mean, a bunch of meetings. You should. Got a lot of practice in this room.
Yes.
Thank you, Tom.
I love it. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Now, we know you're gonna hit some traffic, so,
Yeah, we saw the traffic south.
yep, so please get to the game in time. I don't want you to miss that.
All right, great. Maybe we'll go to Damascus first and long way.
Yeah, we love you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
Oh, you know what? I don't know if you wanna put it in here, so it doesn't get, no, we do this. We can move on.
Okay. Public comment. I will now call for statements from citizens regarding district business. Shelby, did we have anyone sign up?
You did not.
Or didn't have a chance to sign up sheets back there? If you're online, raise your hand or push the little button, any of those? Nope, moving right along. Okay. Next up, we got nothing in B1 business, so we'll go to other business, which is, what did we figure out? There wasn't a civil service. There wasn't an EMS, was there? Okay. Executive committee, nope. Foundation liaison, Jay's not here. Look at us working right through this. Agency, interagency.
No.
No, okay.
There was for Sandy. On the 20th.
Oh, there was for Sandy, and that's the one I missed. Yes.
Isn't that the joint board meeting? There was a joint work session and then there was an interagency that following Monday.
One of those quick updates since Jim's not here and I wasn't there.
Sure, it was honestly just a recap of the joint session and the polling and the upcoming open house.
So I have some about Sandy.
Sure.
They, I believe, are going out and telling their constituents that they're not gonna have to pay the levy.
That shouldn't be the case. They will vote on it when it comes due, but yet the levy is not overlaid into the election. It is to bring them to the 240 per thousand from 217.
And I think that then, if that's their understanding, they need to get some legal counsel because the statute specifically says the next jurisdiction will pay the permanent rate and the local option. So if they're going out and telling people they don't have to pay the 52 cents, that's gonna be a problem for them later.
Yeah, we in the open house, specifically had a board. That the board of directors were there with us that articulated exactly what you spoke to, so
Yeah.
that's
I was hearing at the joint meeting that they're saying they only gonna have to pay 2.4012, which is, I mean, we can,
yeah,
the debt one is different,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
we cannot write off the,
right,
they have to pay the levy.
the levy,
just like everybody else.
yeah, they will have the opportunity to vote for the levy, just like any citizen does, everybody has that opportunity.
Yeah, but that's then, Nick, what I'm saying is, if they're on for the next tax year, they will pay the 52 cents. Next tax year, if the annexation occurs. So, and then Steve, also, you know, you will remember this because you were at Boring. Both Boring and Clark. Because it's not permitted by law for one district to annex another district. Remember, Boring had to dissolve, and so do they.
Yes.
Yes,
And so they need, but they're telling everybody, we're gonna annex, and you can see what can happen. You go to the vote on it, and you have to vote yes on both, yes
Yes.
to dissolve, and yes to annex. And people are gonna look at that and say, well, nobody said nothing to me about any dissolution.
Yep.
I'm voting no on the dissolution, and I'm voting yes for the annexation, because that's what all this has been about. So I think that they need to clarify their message a little. Yes, ultimately, the last step is the annexation, that's correct. But you have that first step that might disconcert people when you say you're gonna dissolve their district. They're going, oh my God, we want to require surplus.
Yes, and point taken, and those are all great things for the frequently asked questions, and I believe there is a plan to add that. And onto the both websites to talk about what is the process for annexation. This first open house was just sort of the big bullet points, and then it gets deep into, if I'm remembering correctly.
yeah, once it's referred to the voters, that's when that specific message gets narrowed, because then it is safe harbor language. And so the initial term was education to the community, that was the big focus, so it's a little bit broader. And then as it starts to get towards where Sandy refers it, that's when the education piece comes with, okay, it's a dissolution of Sandy Fire, and then it's an annexation of into Clackamas Fire. Just like Sandy, and we had that, or just like we had that confusion, same type of, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Barnwell was very good.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, I don't know how this interplays with it. This is the first time I've had an experience where there's a possibility that the annexation will include an incorporated city.
Mhm.
There weren't any in Boring
Yes.
or and I understand the city of Sandy, of course, has its own rights and obligations, and there's a process. So if there's a time frame involved here, I'm sure they have to have a public meeting and pass a resolution and do all this stuff. So I don't want Sandy Fire to get caught short if that's true, and I'm not saying it is. But
As we would dove into legal, because Sandy Fire is a district like we're a fire district, it doesn't include every single city. Sandy Fire District is there.
it appeared to me from the maps that yes, that
Yeah.
the city of Sandy is within the
It's in,
Sandy Fire.
it is, so it doesn't entail the city having to,
No,
we're educating
the
the city.
city has to pass a resolution approving it, I think, or something like that.
We'll dive
You
into
are
that.
correct, I believe Happy Valley had to do the same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
When we did Happy Valley.
Wait,
When we did-
my time.
when we did Damascus.
I thought you were meaning that the city had to refer. You're just talking.
No,
about-
no, no.
Yeah, they do a
But they
resolution.
have to do
Yes.
a resolution,
Yes.
and they have a
Yeah.
process that they have to follow, and it's a time limit, and I don't know, whether they are out 60 days, 90 days, or whatever. If you're trying to hit a target of
Great
the
point.
November election, you want to be sure that the city of Sandy is on target.
What are we gonna do if you decide to retire? from
Don't
the board?
win.
Not when, if Maryland, if.
Signed anybody's approval.
Thank you.
Thank you for those points.
Yeah, and I will research the levy question.
Yeah, I mean, ORS 198, 867 270 is the one that says that they have to pay it.
Next up is capital committee, and I brought my wrong little notebook, so we'll throw it to Marilyn and make her do it.
Well, we had another
Good one.
twice in 1 month. We had a capital committee meeting, not having had one for, I don't know.
4 years.
So, and we met on the 30th of April, Chris and I, Denise and Bill. And Mark, and Bill had prepared an extremely thorough inventory of everything, and with a replacement plan schedule. So it's been a long time since we've had one of these, and it was eye-opening, frightening, and amazing. And then Mark went over, the financing for fleet logistics operations and facilities for, the coming fiscal year, as well as fiscal year 29-30, up through, each season. And what we need and what we hope to have, and so there are going to be some struggles.
No, I think that was just kind of nice to know we have a map in front of us. That's good to have, so. Okay, did any board member have any informational updates or comments?
No.
Yeah, here we go. That's moving right along. Next up, Chief Brown will now share an update from the Office of the Fire Chief.
Awesome, thank you so much, and I'm just gonna wrap in Chief Stewart's as well, into mine. Busy month, we had multiple, open houses. A lot of education, to, elected officials of Sandy, as well as, Gladstone, polling results. Been very, very busy for our community services division and all the command and general staff. So super grateful for everybody's time, as well as you coming into these extra meetings and showing up to the open houses. And we just can't thank you enough for all you do. Skylar Delone, I think I pronounced his name wrong, but seventh grader at Gardner Middle School in Oregon City. He was presented with the Citizens Life Safety Award for saving his older brother's life. His older brother was unresponsive, and he triggered the 911 system, and his brother's alive today because of his actions. And so we got the opportunity to go to the middle school in front of all of his classmates and recognize him, and it was a pretty awesome moment. This is year 3, I believe, that we're doing, or year 2 of the yard debris collection at Station 10. It's continuing to be a successful event. Really appreciate Chief Olson, his vision with this, and the Wildland Division and what they're doing. We underneath Chief Stewart is the Community Resilience Officer, and he's conducted this last month multiple wildland urban interface exercises with Clackamas County, utilizing our tabletop the sand table projector that we discussed a couple months back, and put that to good play. Had strategic partners there from all across the region to participate in this incident with disaster management, sheriff's office, regional PIOs. Very successful, multiple day operations, and he'll be having a presentation with the BCC next month regarding that. But very successful. It was good to get everybody out and get prepared for the upcoming wildland season. But we went from everything to actual tactical operations to evacuations, and so triggered all the systems. And that's something that's unique because we haven't had a joint exercise like that in the last few years that I can think of.
No, nothing less.
Nothing to this scale. It's been, walking around talking about, hey, we did it, but this was actually a full scale exercise and triggering the everything that we would do. Obviously, no activation put out to the public, but yeah, great opportunity and great to see everybody regionally get together and participate in that. We're on track for Station 12. Chief Mueller's going to talk about that, or Chief Dieters. I don't want to rob either one of them, but excited about that. And that is all that I have. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Take care of Chief Stewart's
That
report
did,
too.
yeah, what he wanted to roll out was the Gladstone open house, and then he wanted to talk about the exercise, the community resilience officer.
Okay, perfect, thank you. Then next up puts us to R1C, Office of Business Services, Assistant Chief Peters.
Thank you, Mr. President. Not much to add to what Nick covered there already, except for we did host Good Morning Oregon City in April. We also did, and I'm sure that the volunteers will talk a little bit more about this, but we also hosted with Kiwanis for the annual Sportsman's Breakfast out in Sandy. And then we had the joint work session that we already kind of talked about. And then that's pretty much all I have. Nick kind of covered everything else. Happy to answer any question.
Thomas, do you have any questions for Steve? Marilyn? Thank you, Steve. Next up, R1D Office of Financial Services, Finance Manager Michael Walton.
Yeah, thank you.
Michael.
Yeah, on pages 12 and 13, you can see that the budget is largely on track. We do have on the general fund overtime chart, showing that we're running a little high in operational replacement. And then on page 13, the materials and services is showing currently a little low, but we do expect some larger invoices to be coming in to be paid in May and June. On pages 14 and 15, you can see that there's some items that will be filled in, such as configuration, deployment expenses and revenues. Those ones will be entered in there when we do the supplemental budget in June. Along with debt service that we'll be paying in May and June, and then also the capital transfer out to the general fund, which will also take place. I do have an update on logistics. We have a recruitment out for a new logistics manager. The current logistics manager, Denise, she's been with the district almost 9 years now, but she's relocating due to family reasons. So that job announcement is open and will close on June 1st. And then for a facilities update, we're on track for planned opening dates for Station 12 and the Training Center. And do you have any questions for me about the report?
Yeah, Michael, where are we on reconciling the health benefits fund? Is it gonna come in as opposed to when it's showing here? I mean, usually there seems to be a last minute bumps.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure on that where
How it's really,
we're at.
okay,
I'll have to check with Mark on that one.
thank you.
Thomas, Jim, you?
I know we had a lag, if you remember 2 months back, Mark spoke to that lag. I don't know if it's gotten caught up yet.
Yeah, we had some pretty high months following that lag from that increase, but again,
Not
like you
100%
said,
yet.
I don't know if it's been fully processed yet.
That's all through. Okay, good. Thank you, Michael. Let's see, R1E Office of Emergency Services, Assistant Chief Dan Healy.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, just a couple things on the short list here to run through. Last week was Fire Service Day at the Capitol. So Clackamas Fire was represented, obviously heavily with Chief Stewart's involvement. Jessman Odie came down as administrative assistant, and then we sent our chat unit and one of our quick response vehicles to display at the Capitol, along with other agencies that have ladder trucks, hazmat rigs. But it sounds like there's just really good participation and good viewing of what Clackamas Fire's innovative services are providing. From Chief Olson's office, Crew 30 is, they are rostered right now and hoping that by next week, they're out in Central Oregon on assignment with prescription burning. Academy graduation is June 18th. And the new Type 6s that we purchased with our capital funds are gonna be picked up this week. One of those, really the only update to Titan Station 12 is that one of those is being outfitted, goes the apparatus at Station 12. And then the other one is gonna help supplement our Type 6 brush rig response around the district. And I believe Chief Shireman has a plan to get another unit up and running in Oregon City out of Station 17. From the Fire Defense Board side, we did have the Oregon Fire Chief Association Conference beginning of the month. Preceding that was a Fire Defense Board chief meeting with the staff from the Office of the State Fire Marshal. With that, there's two things that were approved. Number one was the annual Oregon Fire Service Mobilization Plan. There were some changes that mainly don't affect us, but affect like cost increases for volunteers to go out on deployment and some other basic procedural things. And then there's a new comms plan that was updated for the state of Oregon, hasn't been updated in 10 years. The idea is that when deployed on an incident before an incident management team is set up that everybody in the region actually has a comms plan to work off of. And so they made some updates for the first time in 10 years and all the agencies in the state are rolling those out, all those updates out on their VHF radios. And Clackamas Fire is already ahead of that one. From the EMS side, really the big news from EMS is that Division Chief Rick Huffman is going to be retiring at the end of the year. And so we're working through a division chief process right now, as well as a battalion chief process, to get things lined up and look at some kind of transitioning. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff going on with EMS right now, but we want to get a transition chief in there for a good pass off for a few months before Rick ends up retiring. So then the last thing, Director Wall, I know you had 2 months ago, there's some interest on the CERT conversation. I just want to give an update of where we sit today, being just 19 days into May, just over 30 days from our goal of having everything kind of unwound. So we have met with Ryan Kruger's been doing some of the work on this, but our Milwaukee CERT members are in process with the city of Milwaukee right now, with drafting an MOU to begin a transition for July 1 for the city of Milwaukee, taking over the majority of those members. They are drafting that document. They're even getting down to the weeds of like where we're going to get the assets moved to and all that. So the majority of the assets are in a Conex box at Station 4, and we literally plan on delivering that Conex box to them, and they already have a location picked out in Milwaukee. We had some capital assets that needed some improvements, and we're working on that. Some of their props that they're using out in the community need some maintenance and some battery replacements. So we're working on getting those up to speed and return those better than we found it. And then the last part is that those that belong to Oak Lodge, Mr. Winnison had a meeting. I'm looking at this. It was probably last week, where he was going to meet with the water district board, and he's looking for sponsorship from that agency there. So the last part of it is that diving deep into the communication part, because a lot of them are ham radio operators, and there's a lot of licensing and stuff that goes with ham radios. I'm not one myself, but our new comms tech found that we had some older members that are no longer with associated or affiliated with CERT, that actually needed a little bit of unwinding. So he's in the process of doing that to legally to kind of clear us from having somebody's name tied to Clackamas Fire. That was really the last thing that got uncovered, and we're in the process of fixing that. So so far everything is turning really good, fingers crossed, with success with those 2 agencies. And that kind of sums up my report. Let's see if any questions.
Thank you, Dan.
You got anything?
Yeah, I thought we had like 4 CERT organizations in the district.
So the other ones have people technically a name tied to it, but no participation. So one of those being Oregon City, the individual, their contact remains out there, but there's no involvement or movement towards expanding that. And then Happy Valley would be the other one's the same situation.
Thank you.
And they were on the agenda for the Oak Lodge meeting.
Oh, were they?
Last Tuesday night.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, next up, we have R1F, Professional Firefighters, Clackamas County Local 1159.
And they are unable to attend this
They
evening.
not here, chance, we'll see if we enter next month, maybe. R1G Volunteer Association Report, we have volunteer Brent Starr with us tonight. Welcome, Brent.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Brent Starr, and I'm a volunteer. Graduated from the Volunteer Fire Academy in 2302. I've worked as a teacher for over a decade, and currently working for the Gresham Barlow School District. And I absolutely love working as a volunteer for Clackamas, and I'm here to speak on behalf of the Volunteer Fire Association for President Joe Johansson. So I'm going to go over some of the numbers, the statistics for the month of April. During the month of April, we staffed Station 74, 28 out of 30 nights. The volunteer rehab group was dispatched 6 times, responding to all requests of service, arriving on scene 4 of those times to support the crews. The volunteer water tender group was requested 5 times and responded to all 5 events and arrived 4 times on scene. There's also been a lot of training that volunteers and explorers have been doing, and so during the months of April, we were focusing on wildland fire response, securing pediatric airway and fitness testing as volunteers. The explorers did similar stuff, working on wildland firefighting and CPR and first aid. On the 26th of April at Station 71 in Sandy, the volunteers and explorers both helped to support and serve with the Sandy Kiwanis and the Community Services Division to host the Sportsman's Breakfast. And they also opened, during that month, they also opened recruitment for the fall 2025 Volunteer Academy as well. Some stats for that recruitment: there was a job posting and they had 1,034 clicks for the job posting. There were 63 applications that were sent and received by the Clackamas Fire District. And Clackamas invited 55 candidates to the mandatory meeting that was both in person and virtual. I think it said they made it virtual this year so that they could lower the barriers to try to get as many people involved in the program. And so out of those candidates that were invited, 55 were invited and participated in the virtual interviews. And 30 volunteer suppression candidates were invited for a physical agility practice day. They also opened recruitment for the 2025-2026 explorers. And in closing, there will be also an open house at Station 74. It will be at 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock, June 7th. If you have any questions, I'll happily answer them now.
Thomas, do you have any questions for Brett? No? Brett, thank you.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate working for this organization, and I appreciate this opportunity.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you.
Grateful to have you here. Correspondence. We had some nice correspondence. A couple of real nice thank you notes. Did we have any informational items? No, Thomas, we're gonna do it. The next board meeting, directors, will be Monday, June 16th, 2025 at 5 p.m. Meeting will be hybrid, with public invited to attend either remotely via video conference or in person at Station 5, 9339 Southeast Causey Avenue, Happy Valley 97086. And the regular board meeting.
Actually, Chris, I have an information item. I don't know how significant that is. For me, it is. 47 years ago today, I came to US.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, then we're really glad to have you.
Still looking for it.
Even after all this time.
I love it.
Well, that is good informational and a good way to end.
Yep.
Then the regular board of directors meeting is now adjourned at 5:33 p.m.
I said to Chris, it will be a record-breaking meeting today.
That is.